Good afternoon and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Donna Just Being Real. My channel is all about dating, love, relationship, talks, relationship advice channel. We're gonna get back into this one. All right, so the father has spoke, and I'm gonna show the news clip of the father. He spoke after the verdict, so we can see that. This is a beautiful picture with his baby girl. Mm-hmm. And then also we're gonna hear was a definitely a bonus. We're gonna hear the jury members, what the jury members had to say. So that's gonna be interesting. So let's just go down here. We're gonna hear what Dad has to say, the father, and then we're gonna get into the jury members. And I don't understand why would this creep do with this. Well, I'm glad they got him. They got him off the streets. He's gone. Mm-mm-mm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what you do is you make sure you hit the like button, share me out, and all that good stuff. You need to reach me. Look inside the description. You can find my email address, and we can go from there. Let's watch this clip. First clip we're gonna be watching is the father. Let's get it.
Okay, we're following breaking news in the trial of Maxwell Anderson. He has been found guilty on all counts of murdering Sade Robinson. I want to get right out. Sade Robinson's father is speaking to Arbria Jones. That interview is happening right now, so let's listen in.
Well, my daughter shouldn't have had to go through this at all.
What would you say? Because I'm saying your different emotions. You've been very composed. What are your nights like now? Are you able to sleep? Do you think you'll finally be able to rest at this point?
I don't know. I asked myself, what is normal? You know, what does normal feel like? With the thoughts I have and the visions I have, how can life be normal? So I don't even know what normal is, or how to feel, or how to think.
Is there anything that upset you? I know there were some certain things that they kind of mentioned during the trial about Sade. Is there anything that you wanted to dispute, or is there anything that you felt was below the belt, or tarnishing of your daughter's reputation?
I think everybody that knew my daughter knew she was a good person. I always try to instill that in her. There's no way you can tarnish that, because your reputation speaks for itself. They did try to make certain innuendos or whatever, but my daughter was a good person. She's always been, always. You know, so what is what people see. You know, people see who you really are. You know, bad people can do good things, and good people can do bad things. But if you're a good person that does good things, it resonates with everybody.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with me. I can't ever tell. I'm like, I don't know if you're crying, if your eyes just glossy. If
I
there
don't
are
even
tears,
know.
what are they saying?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, ladies and gentlemen. This person that's interviewing him, I'm not that crazy about her line of questioning. I mean, the way this man lost his daughter, I don't know. It's just a little bit off to me. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Hmm. All right, let's resume.
I never even knew it was possible to cry this much. And I've never been an emotional person. Sometimes I'm in my car going to work in the morning and I just start crying. I it's no method to the madness. I can't control it. I think the last interview we did, you said I was crying. I didn't even know I was crying. I don't even remember half the interview. It's I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Is there anything that you want to add? Is there a special message? Do you feel like Sade was with you? Is there anything you want to say on Sade? I know we're not closing this chapter, but at least on the criminal side, we have a resolution, so to speak, of some sort. For you, it's not relief. Is it bittersweet? Um, what would you say? Because I don't know if you answered it. What went through your mind? What was your first thought when they said guilty on all counts?
Initially, I wanted to take justice out of my own hands. By them doing that, I prevented me from doing that because I wanted to find out where my daughter was, and I knew I can get that information. So it's bittersweet.
What are you all? I know you're still looking for the crown. Is there anything else you guys are looking for?
Yes,
Okay.
but that's the most important part to me.
What do you think? His defense attorney, they're adamant that he's innocent and he had nothing to do about that. What's your response to that? I think the last thing they said yesterday was it could have been a stalker or some sort.
You can't be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you show up on camera when my daughter's car is being on fire. That's not coincidence. There's no way that's coincidence. That you're on a bus at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, with a backpack that nobody's found, wearing different clothes that you were wearing the previous night. There's no way you can explain that. No way.
Is it uneasy that we still don't really know what happened to Sade, or do you feel like you don't?
I want to know, and I don't want to know. It's just like when I met you last year, and I was out here searching, and I want to find her, but then I don't want to find her because I'm scared of what's going to happen if I find her.
Yeah. Have you been to Warnema? I know you usually go there.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Well, I want you to get some rest. Thank you for sharing with me. Is there anything you want to say that I didn't ask you?
No.
Okay.
No.
How do you want Sade to be remembered as we move on to the next chapter here?
As a beautiful soul that blessed everybody she came in contact with. She really was that person. She was good heart. She loved everybody, regardless of race, creed, color, religion. She loved everybody.
What do you say to her? Because I know you say you dream a lot. What do you say to her in your dreams or your prayers?
I tell her I'm coming sometimes because I've always been there for her. Whenever she had a problem, whenever somebody was bothering her, she would call me. Yeah. I was her guardian, pretty much. Okay. And I handled anything that bothered her. I told her I never want her fighting, even though I told her how to fight. I taught her different stuff or whatever, but I told her whenever you need me, whenever somebody bothers you, you call me and I'll take care of it. When she got picked on at school, I was there. When her mom's ex-boyfriend did something she didn't like, I was there. You know, it didn't matter. She called me. I was always there. Yeah. And when she was with me, there was never a time I didn't know where she was or what was going on, so I could protect her if I needed to, if I could. Yeah. And when she was kidnapped from me and taken to Milwaukee, that took a lot out of me to not be able to be there for her. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate both of you. When y'all get out of here? Y'all flying back, driving back? Flying. Okay. Yeah.
And all of you were jurors in the Maxwell Anderson case. So I'll start with you. I mean, just your experience being part of the jury. What were some of your takeaways? What was that experience like for you?
Heavier than I thought it would be. To be perfectly honest, you always think you see a lot of stuff on TV, and all right, this might not be any different, but it was very different. The evidence, seeing it presented the family being that close to you, feeling what they're going through. This was it hit me a lot harder than I honestly thought it would. It really did.
In an emotional way? Or
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
do you have kids yourself?
I have a 19-year-old son. So yeah, I would be just as much of a wreck as Sade's mother was if I had to go through this. So yeah.
And Marilyn, what about for you? I mean, just being part of this jury, I mean, was it your first time being on a jury, or?
It was absolutely my first time being on a jury, and I didn't know what to expect. But it was definitely harder than I expected. I didn't think it would be so tough emotionally, exhausted mentally by the end of the day, disgusted, and just saddened, and what made it so much more difficult was to have visualization of family members, and just knowing, what we're hearing, and not being able to talk about it with family or friends was difficult. So
Yeah, how challenging was that? Not to, you go home at the end of the night and then you can't talk about it. You can't go on social media. Talk to me about that challenge.
it was extremely challenging, and I found myself very short fused and having to kind of call myself out on my, don't ask me that silly question, or, where normally I'd be much more relaxed and lighthearted and, in a good mood. I found myself just wanting to be alone, and a person that doesn't like to be alone. It was very, eye-opening. So.
And what about for you, just being on the jury? What was the experience like for you, and what were your takeaways?
Yeah, so this was the first time ever even being called for jury duty, let alone actually being on a jury. I mean, my heart's very heavy. It's very, very emotionally draining. And it was very difficult not to be able to talk to anyone, to bounce ideas off of them, think through your thoughts. I ended up taking a lot of walks just to collect my thoughts and process things and go through them even out loud. I would talk to myself out loud on these walks to try and think through all the information that you're given, because you're just barraged with information for hours a day. It's tough.
Sounds like challenging even on your mental health.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what about for you? I mean, just to go through it.
Being a part of the jury is very isolating. The fact that you can't talk to anyone or even process your emotions, especially on, those family members that you typically lean on to process your emotions throughout the day, just very mentally draining. I'm just drained. I feel like I need a vacation from this, and just very eye-opening, I guess, about everything that throughout the city, all the camera footage and all of that, obviously we're being watched 24/7, which was oddly comforting.
I have to say, you are right. Everybody's being watched 24/7. There are cameras everywhere. And that's how they was able to catch this monster, with the cameras. That helped a lot. And then plus with her having the what was that, Lifeline 360, whatever, with her friends, so they was able to calculate where she was at what time. It helped a lot. See, I don't understand these killers, these low lives, these creeps out here. You don't realize you can't get away with stuff. There's cameras everywhere. And cameras are cheap. They don't even cost much. You can get yourself a high definition camera for a low price, just a few dollars. And easy to assemble. You don't need no professionals. You can do it by yourself. Even your 7-year-old son or daughter could probably put it up for you. So there's cameras everywhere. I'm just glad that they got him, because she wasn't going to be the last victim. And it's good to hear from the jurors how they feel, because I know this was a lot for them to, to take in. And they seen some pictures. I know they seen some graphic pictures, and we us, the public, we're not able to see, but they seen some stuff that's going to haunt them for the rest of their lives. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the what the jurors have to say.
But just emotionally draining. I'm just at this point brain dead. I see a lot, especially as a social worker in the city for the last several years, and I have no words at this point. It's just emotionally draining.
Okay.
I was just going to say it was a very rewarding experience overall. And at the end of it, we all felt like we had really been a part of, the system, right? Like if you're not a part of it, you never know what's going to happen. And it was very rewarding at the end of it to know what the system is like.
Would it be fair to say, like at this point, now that it's over, that there's maybe a sense of relief that you get to now move forward, or what are you feeling on your heart now that that verdict has been read publicly?
Lighter, definitely lighter. Just there is a sense of relief. At least as much we've done as much as we can for the family. At least they know where he's going to be riding for the rest of the time. For the time being, but for me personally, it's like, you saw some things you never planned on seeing. This wasn't TV. It wasn't a movie, and I just want to be able to get some stuff out of my head. And honestly, I mean, I'm at that age. I have issues sleeping already, but I'm like, I had this trial just kept popping up at the weirdest time in my head. I just could not think about it. So I'm looking forward to putting.
I'm not even a jury member, but just covering this case, I know what he means. I can't get this out of my mind. That's why I was so happy I was able to cover this trial. Because I remember when I first heard, I'm like, what? First date? She was happy as she can be? And this lunatic did what to her? This lunatic? What was he, 33, 34, something at the time? And she 19? Why are you running around here with a teenager? Why are you running around here with a teenager, loading her up with drinks? I hope her family, yes, I said it, I hope the family is suing the crap out of every bar that this lunatic took her to. Every bar that he took her to, sue every one of them. Sue the bar, sue the bartender, sue if there's a bounce up front, whoever let this child in. She's 19. She's not supposed to be drinking. Sue it. Take down the bars. See, I think he worked at all these different bars, so he was cool with everybody. So he was like, oh, they gave him a pass. He can come in here with people and stuff. No, it doesn't work that way. Loading her up with liquor. Killed that girl like that. Planned it. And then sitting in the courtroom looking all stupid like you don't understand. What's going on? What's going on? What are they saying? What are they saying? I don't understand. I don't understand. How did I get away with this? Because there's cameras everywhere, you fool. Reason.
Pushing that in the back, that's all I can really say about that. Yeah.
So seeing some of that evidence and some of those photos and videos, a bit
especially the photos. Those last days when they showed that photos, and just thinking through it through my personal lens of male activity and certain things. But when you see that, I'm like, no, that's something different. I've never seen anything like that from any of my friends, male associates, anything. And like, evil. That's the only way I can describe it. Certain things, when you see it, you're like, when they say you'll know it when you see it, and you be like, yep, yeah, that's evil. That's all. That's the only word I can have to describe that. Yeah.
It stands out that you said, like, this is not a movie. This was real life.
It didn't look like special effects. It was, like I said, when you just saw those pictures that was like found on his phone, that was just more nails in the coffin,
I heard those pictures are extremely disturbing, and unfortunately, some sicko got a hold of the picture and put it in the dark web. It's always that creep out here. It's always a creep in the mix. It never fails. It never fails. There's always one around. I know when they seen those pictures, they was like, "Are you flipping kidding me? Do you know this lunatic cut off her breast?" I know the father's going crazy. That's why he's sitting there. He can't fathom this. He doesn't understand. How could you do this to a human being? He did this to my daughter. What did she do to you? What possibly did this my daughter done to you to make you do such an evil thing to my daughter? Oh, they're gonna give you some special treatment in the jailhouse. They're gonna give you some special treatment. They just waiting for you. They already waiting for you. They got special plans for you, just like you had special plans for her. Just how you had special plans for her, they got special plans for you in prison. And all I have to say is I hope they don't unalive you. I want you to deal with the torture every day. Every day I want you to wake up and realize what you did wrong, and I want somebody to remind you what you did to this girl. Every day. Every day. You're 30 something years old. I hope you live to 80 years old in that prison, getting your butt whooped every day. Yeah, live a long life in pain. I hope you get arthritis just roaming through your whole body, aching while they beating on you. Yeah, I said it. Monster. And to whatever other victims you might have out here floating around we don't know about. Resume.
Like there was already enough evidence that had been presented. I was pretty sure where I was going to stand. I was waiting for the defense to perhaps give me a reason to be like, okay, maybe not. That didn't come, but I'm like, there was no way they're going to, what are you going to say that's going to change how I feel about having seen those photos? And there was nothing presented that was going to change that.
Can you talk to me just about, the deliberation? Was everyone on the same page? What was that process like? Did it surprise you how fast it went? Did it take longer than you thought?
It definitely surprised me how fast it went, but there was a lot of discussion. It was not an easy thing by no means. There was multiple people that we, had to discuss things through, but ultimately, Sade, the evidence, and our common sense brought us to a conclusion. And
I picked up the speed to 1.2. Matter of fact, I'm going to put on 1.30. Let's do 1.30. Just a little bit faster. I didn't want to have it on fast speed with the father talking. Okay, 1.30. If it's too fast, too slow for you, all you gotta do is hit the lightning hit the settings and adjust it to whatever's comfortable for you. Let's get it. But I believe you can be able to understand this. Let's resume.
like you said, it was rewarding in that sense. And I feel like we did make the right decision. There's no question in our minds now, for sure. And at that moment that we made the right decision, I do think it's hard to explain unless you are in this, unless you've done this before, to really, explain how hard it was, and how much each and every one of us took it seriously. We really took it seriously, and we're focused, and again kept Sade at the forefront of our deliberation and the reason why we were there. And so yeah, I feel that it was challenging. It did move faster than I had expected, but ultimately we all saw the same evidence, and we all were able to agree that he was guilty on all 4 counts. So
You talk about taking it seriously. What do you want the public to know about just how you took on this responsibility as a juror? What would you say to people who might see this later today?
Oh, I took it extremely seriously. I think it was very difficult to sit through all of the videos, the images, the descriptions. And I just kept thinking, do this for Sade. Whether or not we find it guilty, not guilty, what have you, this is who we're here for. This is why we're doing it. And I think that kept me going.
What about for you?
Throughout this process, obviously it was a lengthy court hearing. We had a lot of testimony, a lot of video to review and see. But at the end of the day, as a jury came together, it was really just more of a collaboration of everyone's thoughts kind of coming together. And really the only hesitation we had were for the first count of whether it would be intentional or unintentional. And it was a pretty quick conversation of just saying the facts came together and we all quickly agreed. So it was nice to work with such a lovely group of jury members. We really got lucky and everyone took the case really seriously. So
that was part of it too, was although maybe the actual discussion didn't take very long, every single one of us was bringing this home in our minds every single night, thinking about it for hours on end. So that had a lot to do with it.
Anything that you'd want to say maybe now that, he's guilty to Sade's family or to the community who were out, searching for her and things like that?
You know what I would say to the community, specifically my community, when you have the opportunity to do jury duty, serve that. I mean, I'm like everybody else. When I first got the letter, I actually deferred it the very first time, and that was last year. Then when I came in, they gave us a questionnaire to start filtering down the process. I'm like, oh, not this trial. I don't want to get on this. I don't want my life disrupted. I mean, I honestly came down to jury duty hoping that if I did get selected for a trial, I would be there to be the guy to keep somebody from getting railroaded. That was honestly my impression. The lens I was looking at that through. But, you know, I mean, once you get in there, and it was just a chance. I mean, one, I was honestly very impressed with the speed, and I felt the seriousness that MPD, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department, actually responded to things, the actions that they took, and finding out that a young black woman was missing. Her car had been set on fire, and I didn't hear any excuses being made. Well, what if this? What if it? No, she's missing. What's going on? Let's get it right into that. It gave me renewed hope in the system, and I'm happy to have did my part of it.
Anything else anyone wants to say that's on your heart or on your mind?
I really appreciate all the witnesses and the investigators. Every person had their role. That was, whether it was small, it was just as important to bring the case together. So that was impressive, really, for me. Like I was floored with how incredibly intelligent and specialized some of the witnesses were, and happy that they're around.
Very thorough, and that
Yeah.
I would assume helped you all
Yeah.
make a decision
Yep.
that you felt
Yep,
comfortable with.
credible. You know, you believed what they were saying.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I just want to show what the father speak. I'm not that crazy about the lady that was interviewing the father. The way she was questioning him. This man lost his daughter about a year ago in a horrific way. I mean, really. How? Of course, we know he's upset. How many times did you cry? What? Why? What's that? Oh boy. Oh well. Everybody interviews their different ways, but prayers to him. He lost his baby girl. And like he said, he was always there to protect her, always. And I know he feels bad because he wasn't there at this time. It was not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. She just ended up bumping up with a creep. That was it. And to you, moms, prayers to you. I could see it because when you first did the interview on Nancy Grace to now, I could see that it's killing you, it's destroying you, which is understandable. I'm glad that they got him, and he'll never be able to walk the streets again. Prayers to you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're going to end it here. Had all the pink because Sade loves pink. I love pink too. Pink is beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. And if you need to reach out to me, look in the description. You'll find my email address. Adios. Oh, not just adios. Let's have a moment of silence for Sade Robinson.